We have a saying here in Uruguay, trabajando como hormigas. It means working like ants. We all have our specific tasks, callings, and locations. But out of these individual threads, something great is emerging. God is building his church in Uruguay.
Figúrese que se acaba de morir. Roberto Esparza.
¿Cómo? Yo sabía que estaba enfermo, pero no creí que estuviera grave.
Enfermo del corazón. Ya.
We've been here for almost a year now, trying to learn Spanish, studying. Hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Period.
¿Te acompaña entonces?
¿Acompaña?
¿Voy contigo o no?
¡Oh! Si su esposa manejara.
I was trying to talk with one of the students, and they kept looking at me funny. And I was saying, that car blue, this green, that purple. You know, I sound like a 3-year-old. The school is a good language school. I just don't learn languages quickly. About our calling, I believe that the Lord called us to ministry. And I think Uruguay was the location he put on our hearts.
Uruguay is a country about the size of Missouri. It's located in South America, but its cultural and culinary roots are decidedly European. Although Uruguay's economy is developing rapidly, its 3 million people suffer from spiritual famine, as evidenced by the highest suicide rate in Latin America. There are more professing atheists than there are practicing Catholics, and many towns, villages, and neighborhoods are still without a real gospel witness.
I'm actually a very timid person by nature, and I don't like to be a center of attention. I still can see myself sitting in the room the day that the Lord just called me to the mission field. And I remember praying within my own heart and just saying, you know, Lord, I hear what you're trying to tell me, and I am willing to go. And I know that there are people that need to hear. At the beginning, I thought, well, I'm tall and blonde, so the Lord would probably send me to Europe, you know, where I would fit in, because I have never liked to go anywhere where I stick out like a sore thumb. The Lord brought Tim into my life, and that kind of changed things because the Lord had already called Tim to Uruguay.
For me to finally consider missions, I had to go through a process. I was raised in Colombia as a missionary kid, and I didn't want to be a missionary, and I didn't want to be a pastor. I went to Bible college just kind of wanting to get an orientation in the Word, and during that time, the possibility came up for a missions trip to Uruguay and Paraguay. And at the same time, the Lord was working in my heart to just say to the Lord, I'm available for anything. I won't say no anymore.
When I first came, I actually would talk to the Lord and say, you know, Lord, I don't know these people, and I don't understand these people. I'm very different from them. And when I came here, I said, Lord, teach me to love these people. Isn't it something how the Lord does that? Because I no longer even think that I'm tall and blonde and I stick out like a sore thumb.
Moving to Tala would be a strategic move to start with this new couple, John and Kristen Ball, that Lord willing will be coming next year, and actually start working up Route 7 with the little towns and little cities that have no sound gospel witness.
There are some things that have come up in my life, health-wise, that may change our direction. It's very possible, but we don't feel that Uruguay is the bottom line. That's it. We're out of the ministry if we can't go to Uruguay.
And there's a couple of times where I've sat down with Kristen and we've talked through, and did we make a mistake? It's not that God is ever wrong. It's sometimes we don't read it right. And I was wondering, did I go through all this and mess up? But our calling is a calling to ministry, wherever we might be. Ahí le doy el pésame. ¿Cómo está, Marta? Can you say that?
¿Cómo está, Marta?
Muy triste. La vi llorando amargamente. Yo también. Yo también lo oí llorar y me partió el alma.
Se ve tan pálida, vestida de negro.
Y tendrá que estar de luto 2 años. Pobre señora.
The line that you just said. And the rest of it too. Y tendrá que... ¿Cómo está, Marta?
Pobre señora.
What's that?
Pobre señora.
Oh yeah, pobre señora. Ahí viene. Gracias, muchas gracias, Alberto.
Muchos de nada.
Okay. Is this worth it? If you're going to go to a country where you can't speak the language, it's all worth it. Because if you can't speak the language, you can't tell them the most important thing that they need to hear, and that's the gospel. It is all about the gospel. And if you have to go through the hardest thing you've ever done in your life to give someone the most important thing they could ever have in their life, that's worth it.
There was just this silence around the place where I usually buy our vegetables. Someone told me, the guy who's sitting there right now, his wife the night before just committed suicide.
Hay alguno acá que quiera ser sano, dice que tenga algún problema, que yo levanté la mano.
Puedo buscar y encontrar por ahí en Cristo el sentido de mi vida.
Don't miss an episode. Subscribe today at workinglikeants.org.